Kendo Podcast episode 135. In this video, I want to talk about should Shinpan be certified?
Kendo Podcast by Hiro Mafuji from kendoguy.com. Thank you for listening. This podcast is about Japanese martial arts Kendo for Kendo lovers and supported by Kendo enthusiasts through patreon.com. Thank you for your support, guys. Please visit kendoguy.com for more Kendo information and how to support kendoguy.com.
Welcome to Kendo Podcast episode 135. First off, I would like to thank a lot of people who voted, who participated in this poll. I had like 2 polls so far, maybe 3, about what do you call it? Southpaw, left-handed Kendo, and also should bow or not due to religious practice. That was very, very, very nice. We had really good conversations on Facebook. So I'm going to put links as well there if you want to take a look at it. And also, also before getting into the actual podcast, I want to congratulate Matsuda Sensei from Midwest Kendo Federation. He became 7th Dan. It's like good to have people, high-ranked people, high-ranked, high-grade holders around this area, because we are very small, and especially, where he comes from, maybe it's not small, but in Indiana we only have one Kendo club. Basically, another Kendo club is there, but it's for beginners. So we are very small, and luckily we have 7th Dan Sensei living close by, so he sometimes visit us. But I'm 6th Dan, and we don't really have that many 6th Dan, 7th Dan around here. So I am so happy that he passed. So congratulations to Matsuda Sensei. And right, and about certification, right? And also, I made poll on members site as well. Patreon.com/Kendo For Life. If you're listening to that, please go. You can click on it. Actually, you can find the poll. If you're if you're with me here at the Patreon. And also I have poll going on Facebook as well. So Facebook is Facebook fan page kendoguy.com. If you search kendoguy.com, you can find the poll. So please participate that. Now, Boone, he has asking me a very good questions. So I really wanted to share my thought with you guys as well. He asked me because he does, what do you call it? Bunai. So internal shiai, club shiai. So only within his club, they have shiai, and they practice Shinpan as well, which is a very good idea, by the way. And and then he had this question. Everyone has different standards, or I didn't give him a point because he has a bad posture. And the other one was, oh, no. He was okay, the posture-wise, but, he didn't have enough kiai, for example. Now, if we have that as a Shinpan, right? If you be a referee, you don't really agree. If you don't have specific idea of what is the valid cut, it's a problem. I can see his point. And I understand that is almost all the time it's a problem. at the Shiai, right, tournaments. So he said, "Do we have a test for Shinpan?" A long story short, we don't really have certificate, or you don't have to pass a test to become a Shinpan. So I think we go to seminars. We have a lot of Shinpan seminars, and since it's always try to bring the level of Shinpan up, right? Every year, somewhere, not every year, even like every 3 months, maybe. Somewhere in US, they do Shinpan seminar. You know, so they are trying very hard, of course. So, but the reason I think it's most difficult part of Shimpan is that you really need experience in Shiai, and if you don't compete in the Shiai, right, and you know what kind of strikes are considered as ippon as a competitor, you kind of can't really tell what you should be considering as ippon. So that's first thing, right? So if you have more share experience, you tend to know. I'm talking about only tendency, right? Tend to know what should be ippon or what shouldn't be ippon. Now, technically, we can learn from book, but again, it's only knowledge. You have to know what should be ippon, right? So definition is there, but you have to judge split second. Does this player or competitor satisfy every single part of criteria to get a valid cut? That's the experience. You have to decide what his strike was good enough or not. So of course, a lot of people makes mistake. Even eighth sensei make mistake. And at the Shiai, being Shinpan, right? If it's, and also let's talk about the Shinpan. I have to stick to one topic. I was going to go over somewhere else. So it's very difficult to what do you call it? To judge who is doing good, who is doing right. But obviously, what we need to know is if one is getting hitting or okay, yeah, Min, yes, I'm live. How are you doing? Are you still in Japan? Okay, so you should look at if one is actually striking the target, right? Whatever man or kote or do. Now, that is very important to look at. But sometimes, he didn't hit me or he didn't hit my man, right? So that happens. And then we go back and we talk about, we look at the video on slow motion and obviously it doesn't hit it. Okay, so and then it's not this person didn't hit a target. Why this should be given a point? At this one, I'm not trying to justify my Shinpan in the future or anything, but you have to be at that triangle, right? At that shiaijo, square shiaijo, and then you make triangle with other Shinpan, right? And then you need to move around, and you have to look, you have to feel atmosphere, right? So you got to make sure, who is going for it and who is putting more pressure. So judge is not only looking at that very moment of hitting. Judge is always trying to anticipate what is going on. That's why we can move. if we react to the competitor's movement, we'll be always behind. So we anticipate, oh, he's moving this way, maybe this way, and is he trying to do what he's trying to do? So we always try to be, part of the competitions, right? Competition, what's going on right in front of us. So, and then the focusing on what will happen, and then when thing happens, we listen to the sound of the datotsu, right? Pah! Okay, did he hit it right? Where did he hit? Did he hit the good, particular, the proper part of shinai and proper part of target? We have to look at it and we have to hear it, and we have to, anticipate, and we have to look at zanshin as well, and then we decide, right? So that's why you need experience, and then that's why sometimes it didn't hit a target, but very good opportunity, and it sounds right, and then it looked right, and then that person gets a point. So it is true, you need to hit a target, right? Hit, you have to strike here, not here, right? Or not here. But sometimes it happens that even, you maybe get hit on the elbow, but your opponent get a point, get an ippon on that, and then you don't like it. I understand that. That happens all the time, right? And but if you think about it, we have same. If I'm a competitor, we have same referees, right? Same referees as my opponent, and then we fight, and I lose. Maybe he didn't get my kote properly, or maybe let's call it misjudge, right? But the same referees, okay? We have same referees, but referees decided to give him ippon, not me. Okay, maybe I hit a good good kote strike, but they didn't give me. But so something there I'm lacking. So we have to look at like that as well. So unless your referees are favoring the other opponent, your opponent, which shouldn't happen, and I'm sure it doesn't really happen. It shouldn't happen. It doesn't happen, and I hope it's not what it is, right? If you think you lost because of misjudge. So from that point of view, competitors have to know that you have same condition, same Shinpan. Shinpan moves, and make sure you make sure you strike right in front of Shinpan. If you move around a lot, I mean, if that is your style, that's fine. But you have to know if you just strike, for example, at the edge of the shiaijo, and you strike, man, and you go like that, your shise posture is crooked, but you get it. But if it's hard to see for the Shinpan, right? Even if you get hit, you probably won't get it because it's obviously it's hard to see. All right. So again, Shinpan has to move around and judge properly. And if you're on the edge, you're crooked. All the criteria is not good, but you can't say, "Oh, I hit it." So you gotta know all the criteria as well. Okay, now justifying how Shinpan is hard. Okay, let's move to the certification too. Now, I can see that certification can standardize Shinpan level. And if you have certificate, if you have certified Shinpan, maybe you feel good about compete among such Shinpan, right? And I understand that, and I think that's a good idea, being certified. And then depends on the level of certification. Maybe they can do more, let's say final. If you have like a higher certification, you should be doing final of the tournament, for example. So less mistakes. Okay, so I can see the point, and I can see probably that's a benefit that will benefit competitors and also the tournament itself. And then probably that is about done as well. If you know how to strike, when to strike, and when how you execute good strikes, you will get a higher grade, right? So it's pretty much that's done. So that's what I think as well. I think certification is very important, especially if you like, for example, maybe like I said previously, you need sheer experience to become Shinpan as well. That will help. Of course, it's not everything. And I'm not saying you if you didn't if you didn't fight in Shia in the past, you can't be a good Shinpan. I don't think so. You can be good Shinpan as well. But that will help. So, for example, in Japan, a lot of people stop doing kendo after certain years, and then they restart kendo. My cousin as well. He used to do kendo when he was a kid, and he didn't do kendo for a long time. And when he came to New Zealand, he started kendo again with me, and he's still practicing since then. So, which is a good thing. But because of this, the less this non kendo, he didn't practice kendo for such a long time. Maybe he will have hard time to do Shinpan. Okay, one, you get nervous. Oh, what if I misjudge? And two, we have a lot of things to follow, right? How to when to bet, how we get into the Shinpan area, and blah 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 blah. So we have rituals to remember, and then you get nervous. And actually, if you don't know what should be the valid cut, probably they know. They know in the head, and they know they've been watching YouTube video, I think, and they've been getting taught by sensei. But if you're not used to it, it's hard, right? So if you don't have enough experience when you were kids, probably it's harder. But I believe through practice of Shinpan, I'm sure you can get it. But unfortunately, we can't constantly practice Shinpan, right? So it's kind of hard to know what should be Ippon or not. And that's why this standardized certification would help as well. And then so Dan, you can if you practice thoroughly and hard, you can get great, right? You can go up to the ladder, but you need to practice to be Shinpan if you didn't have experience when you were a kid. So Dan itself, yes, of course, you have to know how to become. You gain that Dan, so you have that ability, but sometimes it's not equal to the certificate as well. So I can say that too. So one, it's a good idea to have certification, so Shiai can be less misjudges, right? And maybe Shia itself will become better. And so the Shinpan practice is for competitors, so we can improve competition. If one loses because of the misjudge, they don't want to fight anymore, right? So that's we have to prevent. That's why we have to practice. So certification is a very good idea. On the other hand, we have done system as well. So that will be a part of the proof. And then, receiving seminar is okay, but receiving seminar doesn't mean you can be a good Shinpan, right? You participated in the seminar, but it doesn't mean you can be a good Shinpan. So yes, again, certification is important. But the downside, I should say, or maybe if we start doing that, we have less Shinpan people. For example, if you have small federation, and then if we decide, okay, a Shinpan has to be those who has certification, and then go, oh no, we don't have enough people. We have maybe 5 people, 5 senses with certificate. What we're gonna do, and then we have to get people from other federation maybe, and then it will cost money, and so that probably will be a problem. So at least probably this Shinpan is very good idea. And I think probably I should do that too at my club, dojo. But it's very. So first, I think people should really know what makes valid cut. Okay, and then not only in Jigeko, people really focus on getting hit in Jigeko. So they don't really care. It doesn't look like they don't. I mean, it's a Kendo level as well. Before, during, after, and then you have to see this one sequence of strike. Before, during, after, and then you're gonna decide what's good. You have to have a good posture, right? And then, of course, why it is good posture is another question. So probably, yes, it's a good idea to have certification. And beforehand, it's a good idea to practice at the dojo. And then it's a good idea to aim for valid cuts during training. A lot of people go through the motion. はい、切り返し始め Man. Each has to be valid. Don't you think? Each man should be born. Man should be born. Man. All right, should be valid cut. Okay, so how can you do zanshin? If you do zanshin each time, man, it's going to take a long time. I understand that too. It's not going to be kirikaishi maybe. So you can have, kirikaishi with good zanshin each strike. You can do that, for example. Then you can do, of course, you have to cut properly, right? So you learn, you have to satisfy those criteria as well, and a good kiai as well. And you go, man, that's zanshin. You don't have to take chudan all the time. You don't have to assume kamae all the time to take zanshin. Man, there's already zanshin too. Okay, zanshin is be aware, right? And your kiai is still there, and then you're focusing on your opponent, and then you go, man, and then when your opponent comes to attack you, you can easily, react to it. So that's zanshin, right? So you're doing that, so that's good. Then, if you just keep man, you can do that. If we have zanshin there, it should be ippon. So that's the strike you have to give to do kirikaishi while in kirikaishi. Pan good cut. If we have zanshin there, man, it should be valid, right? Man, valid. So we are practicing hasuji there and tenoji. Okay, so that's what we are doing. Then right? So that before, so you strike 9 sayumen, man, and the last man strike, you just don't keep the zanshin, man, and then finish. So if you do kirikaeshi like that, you're satisfying every single criteria you have in the valid cut. So you will understand what should be ippon instead of go, you know. A lot of people just do kirikaeshi and not thinking about those things. Oh, it should be ippon, right? Every single strike has to be ippon. That's why it's meaningful, you know. And if you do kirikaeshi to make it fast, yeah, you can do it too. But you know, if you cannot make it fast, if you cannot do single cut as an ippon, if you can make a single cut ippon, you shouldn't be going like that, in my opinion. You know, so I think it's very important to think about valid cut ippon. You know, it's not hitting ippon. You don't have to pass through. You just have to be followed by zanshin. So we probably have to talk about zanshin there, but you know, so every time you do kendo, you have to think about ippon. Okay, don't do the drill. Don't go through the motion. What you're doing, drill, is to make your cut valid. And then through the process of learning kendo, you discipline yourself. Okay, and then your teacher will tell you, you know, how you should be doing. This is a teaching from the old days. You know, when that happens, you should be doing this. You know, that's why kendo becomes more educational as well, not only hitting each other. Okay, so I hope. Probably we went really far away from the main topic, but it's quite related, I think. Certification is a good idea, and also it has disadvantage, lacking referees, Shinpans, for a while, I think. And also we need to polish up our techniques, skills to gain ippon, you know, to gain valid cut through the basic drills. Okay, so that is very important for each one of us, so we know what should be done, at least what you should be done to make your strike valid. Okay, thank you for listening, and and I'll see you in the next podcast. And check out those polls if you have time, and you can go to Facebook, kendoguy.com fan page, and also Patreon as well. You can do the poll. I think I left it into the public so everyone can come and watch, come and do the polls as well. Okay, thank you for listening, and I'll see you in the next podcast. I would like to send special thanks to patrons for their constant support through patreons.com/Kendo For Life.